Does Season 6 MLP-FIM suck? Fun fact, when I began this script, Misanthro Pony's birthday just popped up. Perhaps an ill omen for such a decidedly pessimistic title. Yeah, like that's gonna stop me. I'm going to knowingly sabotage my own video immediately to see whether you agree what I'm getting at. All you have to do is watch Season 5 and Season 6 of MLP-FIM, and then go to your preferred episode listing site. Any site that has all 26 episodes of both seasons. Now I need you to count off the great episodes. Not the terrible ones, not the bad ones, not even just the good ones. We're gonna stay super positive. Only talk about the best of the best. Make sure to keep your counts separate from Season 5 to Season 6. You might ask yourself, what's your intention, FNGR? I have felt and observed a bit of disconnect from myself and a series of fans of the show. The experiment of this video is to provide the audience a means by which that you can go test this for yourselves. I'll be counting 2-part episodes as one, so if either part is bad, that's only a half point. Season 5, the QT Remap. It's the only season opener besides Season 3 that took us to someplace new. And this new place wasn't to sell a toy set, it was grim, gritty, dark.
Never been in any show, it's so brown that it feels like I'm looking at real brown. The sky is always blue.
This background is the furthest thing from MLP-FIM. And I love it, contrasted by a bunch of smiles on a place that looks utterly miserable. Starlight Glimmer, in contrast, is someone trying to be good and failing utterly at it.
Every pony has unique talents and gifts, and when we share them with each other, that's how Quiet!
As you can clearly see, I feel a kinship for this character. Someone who carried the best parts of Season 6, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm going to disregard my own advice immediately because Glimmy isn't just wielded out and forgotten about like Chrysilius and Sombri. She comes back in the same damn season. I got into a heated debate with Sean Howell last Sunday for fans wanting the show to be about continuity, where he felt the show was more about silly shit. Well, I'm glad to know that Starlight Glimmer is walking, talking continuity. But that's enough about Best Horse for now. Make new friends, but keep Discord. Some of you guys might have seen that there's a 5-episode jump here, but that's because, again, we're only talking about the great episodes. I can argue about the novelty of Castle, Sweet Castle for about half of the episode. Unfortunately, there's the other part with most of the main 6 bringing the overall product down. Mistakes that feel like they have to happen and a conflict that ultimately didn't feel natural. Many fans have likened Discord to a petty and jealous god. Go look up Loki in Discord on Google or wherever. Well, make sure to have your safety filter on. Or some of your more naughty fans make sure it's off. So what makes new friends but keep Discord great? Well, we get to see Discord's fixation on Fluttershy in a believable manner. Discord, no two ways about it, is a petty dick. Hell, in Three's a Crowd, he jerked 2 princes around just to prove that they were his friends. Is Discord the kind of guy who would bring an unholy monster along to act like, nah man, this is fine? Yeah, it's totally in line with what he would do. I mean, there is also finally seeing Discord's home dimension. Like, let's be honest, did any of you guys really think that we'd ever see this place? And then there's Maud.
This is the most basic of jokes!
You're the most basic of jokes.
This was an oasis in the desert of Season 5. Thankfully, we didn't have to wait that long for the next one. Lost Treasure of Griffinstone was literally around the corner. Griffin the Brush-Off was episode 5 of Season 1. Gilda was a character I didn't recall a lot of people calling for the return of. Well, outside of Voice of Reason. There's a wonderful build-up about the majesty of Griffinstone, the journey there. There's a lot jammed into 22 minutes, and most of all, they do it without any fucking songs. Hell, something honestly dies in addition to the action, the lore, the world building. It's something that isn't just about ponies. This episode sets up for something else that we'll see in Season 6. Which, I might add, I'm glad as how the Griffins, for the most part, are still dicks. It gives the show something to go back to. Like, if you find I'm missing a lot of things that makes these episodes great, even the ones I'm mentioning, well, I'm aware. Pinky is vintage in this episode, and plays off of Gilda wonderfully, so well, I'd be more than down to see this pair come back in the future. But I'm offering what I feel is enough to explain why these episodes are great. Naturally, your best of Season 5 and 6 will vary from mine. Episode 12, Mending Fences. Do you like Twilight Sparkle? Do you like going way back and feeling the nostalgia of the earlier days? I guess I just noticed that I do, because between Griffinstone and Mending Fences, Spike makes Twilight unnecessarily at ease recalling the good old days. This is the sort of thing friends and family often do to one another. Now we're going to go a little deeper on EQD, or Equestria Daily. See, there are reasons they're around. There was an interview with M.A. Larson where he talked about scenes that were being cut, about Twilight seeking out Celestia in the middle of the night, looking to give up her title as the Princess of Friendship, to which Celestia replies, "Some relationships are so broken, so filled with bitterness and anger, that they are impossible to mend. But the lesson you're here to learn now is it's never too late to repair a broken friendship." And I can speak from experience with my friendships, with Vita, with Shelly D, and honestly I'm starting to get along with Josh Scorcher. No, really, my brain's still shutting off every time I say that out loud. That's a powerful message in this episode. It's never too late to repair a broken friendship. Now, whether Larson wanted to show that you might come off as kinda creepy doing this, well, I mean, it's M.A. Larson, we do know. The contrast between Twilight and most of her old friends taking the rejection as, well, no big deal, and Moondancer straight up refuses. It's a balanced, reasonable series, and it crams so much in such a short period of time. It should be the new gold standard, and till this day I do consider it the absolute most that you can get out of 22 minutes. Do princesses dream of magic sheep? Now, I understand that there's a lot of pushback against this episode. I think there's some good reasons on why you might not be keen on it, but for me, I focused on the fantasy world, where it was allowed to be, well, fantastic. The dreams are creepy. The fake out on the rainbow powers was vexing just enough before going away. It was the perfect send-off for what hopefully we'll never see again. The town came together to combat a problem, and honestly, I felt it was the fan episode slice of life could have been. For those of you who don't remember, we had a mid-season hiatus for Season 5, due which we came back to Canterlot Boutique. Until this day, this is the best rarity episode on the show. The basic premises is that artists become successful and soul-crushingly miserable because of it. There is a slight hiccup at the end where Rarity stays true to her convictions and is ultimately successful instantly for staying true to herself. That's kind of a dangerous message to send. The likelihood that your core fans will follow you because you're true to yourself is something the show would have been better off subverting than indulging in. That said, seeing creativity was the first casualty of immediate success is what makes this episode a classic. On to Crusaders of the Lost Mark. This one feels bittersweet mostly because Diamond Tiara and Silver Spoons become muted after this one.
Am I? Because I tried to help by mentioning your surprise statue, and suddenly I wasn't even allowed to speak. You could have actually won this election if you just listened to me. You want to know how? Sorry, I'm not allowed to speak.
Seeing Silver Spoons stand up to DT, the final resolution of the CMC in reaching their destiny, which later on, still they continue to struggle with. I mean, finding your purpose isn't the end, it's merely the beginning. Outside of DT standing up to her mom and that being the end of it, perhaps DT's backstory does show up a little too late in the series. Okay, it does. The CMC finally did get to move forward, and while it took a bit for this to pay off, the songs are all aces. Hell, I'd call this episode Magical Mystery Cure done right. It's a wish list come true. Scaremaster and later in Season 6 Flutterbutter is the perfect 1-2 punch of giving Fluttershy a new look, for a character that desperately needed a little oomph. Scaremaster could have been contrived to make Fluttershy uncomfortable where she learns her lesson, only to hit the reset button by the next time they need her to. Instead, we learned that friendship can't fix everything, that there is no silver bullet in life that will cure all your ails. That's a powerful and necessary lesson. It's also a bold one when you consider they let friendship literally fix everything else. Not just that, but yeah, sometimes when you bring someone along that didn't want to be there, all you ever do is make things worse for you and them. Remember that overly glowy ending to Canterlot Boutique? We didn't get that ending again, kids. And this was a kid's show. I think the first half of the QT Remap is amazing. The nod to Starlight stalking Twilight throughout the season, the alternate timelines, the flub in the later half is in the reasoning. But make no mistake, the QT Remap, when it's being action-oriented, is a dream come true. The fan, at least in my case, is serviced, and Starlight, when she's not fighting Twilight magically, but mentally, is on the ball in this one. So now, we're at the halfway point. The score is 8.5 points for Season 5. So hey, I hope you guys like what you saw. I've had some fans ask me if I'm going to cover any episodes and not just talk about people. So there you go. If you liked it, upvote it. If you didn't like it, downvote it. If you want to hear the latter half of Season 6, see in the comments. Or you can just tell me what episodes you thought were great in Season 5.
There is a house in New Orleans they call the rising sun, and it's been the ruin of many a poor boy, and God, I know I'm one. My mother was a tailor, sewed my new blue jeans. My father was a gambling man down in New Orleans. Now the only things a gambler needs is a suitcase and a trunk, and the only time he is satisfied is when he is all drunk.